So today's topic is talking about refugees. Now, the definition of a refugee is a person who's been forced to leave their country in order to escape war, persecution, or natural disaster. Now, in one of the articles we read called Europe's Child Refugee Crisis, we learn about Wasil's story and how his father used to work for the Taliban but was receiving many death threats, and because he was the oldest male, he was also receiving death threats. So he left behind his mother and his younger siblings. His mother paid to have him removed so he wouldn't be in harm's way anymore. And we're stunned with the percentage in the reading. It says among the 1.3 million people who sought asylum in Europe in 2015 were nearly 100,000 unaccompanied children. So Wasil is not the only child that's going through this alone. There are 1.3 million other people, including children, that had to go through this. 13% were younger than 14 years old. 14. That's really young for them to have to grow up that quick. Now, when we hear about Wasil's story, people just assume that his father was doing bad for the Taliban and they didn't like it. People don't understand that because he's a refugee and he's looking for asylum somewhere else, they don't understand all the hardship he's been through. They only see the dark that we always put on the word refugee. We always see how they're refugees because their war is going on and they're on the bad side, or vice versa. But Wasil never did anything. He was getting threats because of what his father's done. Now, unaccompanied minors are the de facto vanguard of the greatest migration since the Second World War, its innovators and its guinea pigs. Now, unaccompanied minors across around 4,000 miles of just straight ocean is incredible. It's a very rough path to go through, and many don't understand. We always hear the statistics, and we always hear about their journey, but we've never lived it. And because people think refugees are kind of like immigrants in a sense, and they are, but it's not. It shouldn't be used interchangeably. It is two separate words for a reason. Because people use it like that, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Refugees are people who have suffered, whether it's a family member or the whole family or even just you. Something's happened in their lives that they couldn't control, and now they're being forced to leave. So, in the next article, Traveling Teaches Students in a Way School Can't, by Amanda Machado. So, we hear about Amanda's personal story and how her parents sent her to Ecuador every summer since she turned 15. Now, she realizes all the necessities that she's had are actually just luxuries. She says that traveling to these places made me realize the advantages I initially thought I had over others were not necessarily advantages to everyone. And having your own advantages, she's right, isn't advantages to everyone. Everyone's got their different strengths, depending on where they live, who their family is. A whole bunch of different factors go into it. But that's what matters, is that she realized that just because it's my advantage doesn't mean it works with everyone else. Now, one line that really stuck out to me in this whole paper, or this whole article, was people don't have the American dream. They've got their own dream, and that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. We, as Americans, like to call everything the American dream. Stay-at-home mom, father, kids, everything's great, new car, good house, got a dog, the American dream. But everyone can't live to that satisfaction of American dream, especially refugees who are forced out of their homes. Because they're forced out of their homes, they have to come up with new dreams that they can make possible for themselves to make them happy. A natural disaster hits. Their perfect dreams changed once again, but maybe for the better. Being forced to leave because of war, it might be for the better, but for now it's the worst. And a lot of people take for granted what we have here. We don't have warm water for a day. Oh, it's too cold. In Ecuador, they're lucky if they even have water to shower sometimes. Or if a car works right. Or they have to travel hours and hours just to get to one place and hope that their day isn't ruined because something messed up. All the little things that we take for granted are things people like in Ecuador realized. And that's a snap to reality a lot of people need. They don't realize that all of these refugees have had to learn through hardship that your necessities that we have here in America aren't necessities over there. They've had to realize that they need to live without some things, and they've adapted to that. So, actually, even though people dislike refugees, refugees are very intelligent, wise people to learn from, and they should probably get more respect than what they have. Because just because refugees and immigrants is somewhat interchangeable, and it's not, people just shy away from it, and they shouldn't.